today's health care costs go toward treating people with HIV. And it's either half or very close to half, and of course it's rising. And we hear all this talk about taxing smokers and taxing everybody that is contributing somehow to the overall health decline of the country, and yet not a word is said about that. In fact, I heard somebody has made a claim in the news today, and I can't remember exactly where I saw this, but I think it's some AIDS activist group has demanded more money in the Clinton budget for AIDS prevention. More money. There's not enough money in this $1.5 trillion budget for AIDS prevention. Now, what kind of, why is a dime needed for AIDS prevention? Since it is a behaviorally spread disease, what kind of money do we need to go toward prevention? This is the kind of political inclusion in this budget that nobody's willing to talk about. We will, of course, here. What is your point with these 5 various...
Well, my point is that of these 5 items that have been the lion's share of increase in costs, none of them is addressed by the Clinton health care plan.
Well, that's my point.
It doesn't touch any of them.
That's my point.
It'll continue to go up.
That's exactly right. No, it won't, because it's not going to go up. Look at the budget. It isn't going to go up. We're going to have all these Medicare savings of something like $37 billion. Who are you trying to fool calling here saying that health spending is going to go up?
But their response is, well, we're going to save money by forming health alliances and buying health care en masse.
Well, they will.
Buying it in wholesale. We're going to buy wholesale instead of retail.
Yes.
Well, let's face it, that works great for widgets. If you're going to go out and buy widgets and the company can make 1,000 widgets and 2,000 widgets and it's cheaper and quicker for them to turn it out that way, that's great. But do you want to go to your doctor and have him turn you out like a widget?
And some people, actually wouldn't mind seeing that. Go into your doctor and come out a widget. Hey, Elliot, thanks. That's a good point. He's exactly right. 5 of the main reasons for cost increases are not even dealt with in the Clinton health budget. My friends, I think today is the day we'll know for sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb here. I am prepared to say today that we in America have been saved by the Fifth Reich. Yes, my friends, you've heard of the Third Reich. That was Hitler and his Nazis that wanted to conquer all of Western Europe and America. Then came the Fourth Reich, Robert B. Reich, whose economic schemes wanted to slow down America. But now, my friends, now along comes the Fifth Reich, Robert Reichauer, who is the chairman of the Congressional Budget Office, who may save America. In testimony today before the House Ways and Means Committee, may say that the Clinton health plan cannot be off budget. He may therefore say that these premiums that must be paid to these so-called health alliances are actually a tax. Massive taxes. It's a tax, it's another giant tax. It's tax and spend, it's not premium and spend. It's the old Democrats, not the new Democrats. And the Fifth Reich, Robert Reichauer, may be the man who saves America today. Here you had the MTV generation who'd rather go out and buy a bunch of CDs than buy health care coverage. And now they are going to be ordered to pay a tax, not ordered to pay a premium. Their employers, see, this is why the employer mandate, I told you people from day one that the employer mandate was crucial to the Clinton plan. Why? I'll tell you why. The reason why the employer mandate was crucial was because the Clintons hoped to disguise the employer mandate as an insurance premium, employers paying health alliances, which would then go out and negotiate the best premiums they could from insurance companies to buy health care coverage for the residents of that particular alliance. And they hoped to create the illusion that none of that money would see its way to Washington and find its way on the federal ledgers. Well, it isn't going to be that way, because these health alliances are what? They are government bureaucracies. They are created by a federal agency, the National Health Board, created by the Clinton health plan. And so when the federal government requires somebody to pay something, Robert Reichauer, the Fifth Reich, is going to say logically, hey, you've got to call that a tax. And then what happens is that the largest tax increase in American history is proclaimed for what it is, a tax increase, which gives the Clintons a huge PR problem, because with this being an election year, do you think that men and women in Congress running for re-election want to stand on support for the largest tax increase? Whenever you give your opponents the chance to label honestly and correctly this is the whole point of the Clinton administration. How can we fool them today? What can we get away with today? This was some of the biggest chicanery ever tried. And what's ironic about it is that the Congressional Budget Office is going to put the screws to the plan. Go back to Clinton's first joint speech before Congress, or speech before a joint session of Congress, in which he said that he was going to rely for future budget predictions and budget estimates and deficit reduction estimates on the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office. Congress has their so-called independent agency of economists that analyze budget figures, and the administration has theirs. That is called the Office of Management and Budget, OMB. It's where Richard Darman used to work, who still remains a huge problem. Darman, one of the major problems. He was absolutely one of the major problems in the Bush administration. So, the OMB figures, Clinton said, were always far, far too favorable to the Bush administration, and if he were president, which he was at the time, we're going to rely on the CBO numbers. So now, since he's going to rely on the CBO, Robert Reischauer, the Fifth Reich, head of the CBO, aware of his own place in histoire, aware of his own legacy. Is he going to go down in histoire as one who joined the Clintons in one of the giant attempts at fooling the American people ever? Or is he going to call a tax increase a tax increase? He's going to call a tax increase a tax increase. The small businesses who can't afford health care for part-time workers will get a tax. Not a premium, a tax. Now that covers the first part of the equation. Hillary's plan was poorly conceived. It was and is a tax increase, as many of us have been telling you all along. And now that we've established that it is a tax increase, or we will shortly this afternoon when the Fifth Reich, Robert Reischauer, testifies before the Ways and Means Committee, we can start discussing how poorly conceived this is. Here is my question. How can the smartest woman in the world, Hillary Rodham Clinton, have goofed so badly? That's where the discussion is going to be. How could they have goofed up so badly? How could they have conceived of a plan? These health alliances are all a mirage. They're all an attempt to keep the money apparently from flowing to Washington so as to get away with this plan being off budget. That alone ought to tell you the intentions and the motivations of these people. It's simply this: they want to rob American business. And in the process, they want to rob and steal from you. And then when you've been robbed and been stolen, there's nobody you can go to report the loss, because there's no record of the loss, no record of the theft, no record of the taking. But it has not worked. And the smartest woman in the world conceived it. What were her qualifications, after all, the outset? There were none. Now, we have to hold out the slim possibility that we're wrong, that Robert Reischauer will go before the Ways and Means Committee today and go ahead and give the Clintons what they want. Still, not a total loss, because with all the publicity that has been attached to this the past couple of days, everybody's going to know it's a tax increase. The word's already out, and they're going to call it a tax increase, and Reischauer is going to be criticized for being less than honest in his appraisal of how the health plan will operate, and people can be told with honesty what the health care plan really is: a massive tax increase, the largest tax increase in American history. So, ladies and gentlemen, we in America today should be happy and thankful. We have been saved by the Fifth Reich. Back after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Think about the moment when you bite into a fresh strawberry, when you experience that incomparable, juicy, sweet, fresh fruit taste. You're thinking about the taste of Smucker's Simply Fruit. Smucker's Simply Fruit is simply spreadable fruit, and it's just about the closest thing to fresh fruit you'll ever taste. 100% fruit in blueberry, strawberry, blackberry, and more. With a name like like Smucker's, it has to be good.
Do you know there are only 44 sounds in the English language? 44. And when you learn these 44 sounds called phonics, you can read and spell almost everything. That's why Hooked on Phonics is so successful. We've set these 44 sounds to music, making learning to read simple and fun. So get hooked on phonics and take the mystery out of learning to read. Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
The same movies all month long. Stations you don't like. A bill that gets bigger as the service gets smaller. Sound familiar? Yes, it sounds like I'm tied to the railroad tracks and you're snidely whiplash. AIM Electronics has the answer to the TV blues. The Tar Heel antenna, specially made for this area, picks up both UHF and VHF frequency, giving you the area stations you want with great reception at just $49.95, and there's no monthly bill. AIM Electronics, 411 East Ash Street, Goldsboro.
State Office Equipment Company has discount office furniture for less. Stacking chairs are only $27.95 and only $29.95 with arms. Storage cabinets, 72 by 18 by 36, only $115. Folding metal chairs start at just $6.95 and folding tables start at only $36. And State Office Equipment Company has used furniture for sale and delivery available. Get office furniture for less at State Office Equipment Company, 2211A East Ash Street, Goldsboro. Open Monday through Thursday, 8:30 till 5:30 and 8:30 till 5 on Friday.
Moo-hoo?
Yeah, Lloyd.
Listen, I have an idea that could radically advance civilization as we know it.
Hey, we're prehistoric men. Let's not get fancy.
Now, imagine this. We come back to the cave after a long day of berry gathering and woolly mammoth hunting.
Yeah.
We put our feet up on a rock and relax by a roaring fire.
Fire, what's that?
That's a hot burning thing we can use to cook.
The woolly mammoth?
No, the berries.
Where'd we get this fire?
Well, we invented it. You see, all we need is some flint to make sparks, and they got loads of flint over in Thor's village.
No, we don't want to have to talk to them. They're old, a different color, they're bad dancers.
All right, we'll go to the Valley of the Sophies then.
Women? You want to deal with women? They're not like us. Forget it.
Hey, listen, if this fire thing works, we're talking big bucks.
Okay, maybe that new immigrant tribe has flint.
You want to talk to foreigners? Hey, I'd rather talk to the tribe that uses wheelchairs.
Okay, forget it. Fire is probably a stupid idea. Let's just eat our berries cold.
Oh, good. Pass the cream.
Where'd you get that fire idea?
I heard some guys in the Woosley tribe talking
No
about
wonder. What do bald guys know?
The Leadership Conference Education Fund and the Advertising Council remind you that our strength, our progress depends on our diversity.
Epitome of positive. Rush Limbaugh with tough love for America. To Beltsville, Maryland, and Douglas. Glad you called, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rush. Dittos from the Capital Beltway.
Thank you.
Couple things. Last night on your show,
Yeah.
you said the solution to something was removing the women's right to vote. Do you remember that?
Yeah. You want me to put this in context for you?
No, I saw the show.
Well, yes, but you've just stated it out of context. I better put this...
That's my point.
Yeah.
People are going to take it out of context.
Let them take it out of context if they believe...
Fuel their fire that you're a sexist pig.
Let them fuel that. If they have to resort to that to prove I'm a sexist pig. We were discussing this yesterday afternoon. Let me set this all up. You got a minute here, Douglas?
Sure do.
Yesterday afternoon, before my show, I was talking to Kathleen Gleason and Jennifer Bolig, and they're big Oprah fans, and they got mad at me last week when I was saying on this show I didn't understand why Oprah's show was considered to be so much better than all the other these daytime shows. And I made it plain to say I don't have anything against Oprah. Oprah's a fine woman. She's alternately fat and thin. She does all the real American things, gains weight, loses weight. We all do that. And I didn't understand why it was perceived to be such a better show. So I'd asked a bunch of women why, and they all said, because Oprah cries. Because Oprah is real. And Oprah is always in the middle. Oprah never takes sides. I said, that's not true. I've seen Oprah kick George Gilder off her show when he was making too many good points in an argument over men and women, feminism, and all this. So they came in and they were talking about it. And the topic yesterday was there were a bunch of fat people on Oprah's show yesterday with complaints about how their family members treat them. And these people, these poor fat people were sitting there saying, my family, it's typical whining of America. And Oprah was with experience in this, was saying to the thin family members, who apparently are castigating and being mean to their fat family members and so forth, says, look, you can do whatever you want. You can say anything to your fat family members, but it isn't going to matter. Nothing you can say matters. And, of course, the audience erupts. Yay, Oprah. And then Oprah said, and in fact, you don't have to say anything. They'll know what you're thinking. So these fat people said, yeah, that's right. We know you hate us, whether you say so or not. And I'm sitting here watching this in stunned amazement. And I'm saying this is considered to be far above what's elsewhere available on daytime TV. So we got into these arguments, and I went out started my show, described this little discussion I was having with some of my female staff members, and that led into a discussion of the Menendez jury and how the women on the jury just couldn't come to believe that the Menendez brothers had shot their parents even after they had admitted it in sworn testimony on the witness stand. It was kind of like this. If I can set this stage, you have Oprah as the host of the show, and you've got videotape of Lyle Menendez admitting that he shot his mother. She wasn't dead, so he went outside the house, reloaded, came back, shot her in the face again to make sure she was dead. Then you cut to a female juror who voted not to convict, and Oprah would say, well, But you see, he just said that he did it. Yes, would go the female jury. Yes, but he's going to be without his parents for the rest of his life. And Oprah was saying, but he shot him. But I don't care. He's going to miss his parents for the rest of his life. And the Lorena Bobbitt trial, all of these women who seem to take sympathy first, confuse compassion with justice, and respond more to the pain and suffering of the future of these people who did their parents away.
Not to mention their looks.
Yeah, and admitting that too. And I said, my friends, where do we get female jurors? We get them as registered voters. We get them from the voter registration rolls, don't we? Well, the only solution is take the right to vote away from women, and you get them off jury duty. And it was a joke. It was a lighthearted comment.
Of course, but people aren't going to take the right after you said it, you said, I'm just kidding, I'm just joking.
Just kidding.
But they're going to omit that, and you're going to be a serious sexist chauvinist.
I hope they focus on that. That will show the intellectual vacancy of the feminist movement if they have to resort to that as evidence that Limbaugh is really a sexist. That's just another example of my illustrating absurdity by being absurd.
Mm-hmm. One other thing, which is also absurd, a few years ago, there was all the flap about the spotted owl and the virgin forest, and my brother's a forester.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as virgin forest.
I know that.
Anymore.
That's right.
Also, Weyerhaeuser contracted to do it with some company to do a survey of spotted owls.
I know what you're going to say.
No, you don't. You're thinking about they found them in the new growth?
No, but go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'll just tell you. See, I know what you're going to say because I know what Weyerhaeuser did. But you go ahead. You're the caller.
They found them. They found a pair nesting in the facade of an abandoned Kmart.
I didn't know that. I thought that you were going to say that they built their own little forest and brought in a pair of spotted owls who could survive there, which they also did.
They did that.
And it worked.
Yes.
Spotted owl didn't know the hell of it.
They didn't know. They
could have been living in a base
for crying out loud.
I know. It could have been living in a baseball bat for all they knew. Yeah, what was it? Old growth Kmart may have been one of the first ones constructed.
Could have been. It was a Virgin Kmart.
Virgin Kmart. Good story.
I also want to thank you for the way you support the military. I'm in the Air Force, and I really appreciate everything you say to support us.
Hey, I mean it from the heart. It is my pleasure. Hey, thanks, because Nightline's doing a story Friday night on revisiting the environmental movement, and they're asking me to be interviewed for it, for their pre-package, the first segment package before they get to interviewing whoever their guests are, and that'll be a great story. Some spotted owls were found living. Where exactly in the Kmart did they take up?
I'm not sure. I believe it was in the sign. In the actual, where it's the big red K and the green Mart part.
It's not even wood.
No. Pigeons live there, though.
Yeah, it's not even wood.
Why can't an owl?
At least go to the Home Improvement Center. Okay, we'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Listen to this. For as little as $7,800, Exclusive Vending Incorporated will assist you to immediately cash in on your own vending route business. Snapple Lemon Iced Tea, Snapple Kiwi Strawberry, Snapple Raspberry Iced Tea, and all the other Snapple favorites. Exclusive Vending Inc. wants you to call for your application immediately. Call 800-592-0770. This is the greatest vending business opportunity in the country. Snapple all-natural beverages in your own vending machines. Call right now toll-free for your information kit. 800-592-0770. Here's the number again, 800-592-0770. How can you lose? You invest only $7,800. Call now toll-free, 800-592-0770. Exclusive Vending is the sole service mark of Exclusive Vending Inc. Snapple is the exclusive trademark of the Snapple Beverage Corp. This business opportunity offering is solely through Exclusive Vending Inc. The Snapple Beverage Corp is not affiliated or part of Exclusive Vending, nor does it endorse this offering.
Hello?
Hello, this is the Goldsboro Merchants Gift Check operator calling.
Be listening for your phone to ring. It might be the Goldsboro Merchants Gift Check operator calling with an opportunity for you to receive over $800 in dinners, entertainment, and services for only $39.95. The Merchants Gift Check book contains over $800 in free gifts and services from Goldsboro Merchants, and there are no discounts. All free and no gimmicks. This is the best dollar stretcher available today. It's just like having money in the bank. So remember, if the gift check operator calls you, say yes and order yours today, and you'll stretch your dollars while fighting inflation. Plus, receive a free 35mm layback camera for ordering today. Here are a few of today's participating merchants: Marlene Sub Shop, Arby's, Chili Peppers Mexican Food, Mary's Drive-In, and Willie's Radiator Muffler Service. Be listening for your phone to ring.
Who's on your side when you buy a home? The realtor? The mortgage lender? Don't you need someone in your corner? Global Inspection Corporation can be your best friend. They can use their 21 years building experience to inspect your prospective home and let you know what's good and what's a potential problem. An inspected home can ease worries about financing and insurance problems. Best of all, you know your home will live up to your expectations. To help you through the home buying jungle, call 689-2304 for Global Inspection Corporation.
A card, a rose, chocolates, and Mylar balloons. All of these and more at Toby's Hallmark Shop, Berkeley Mall. Your choice of hundreds of Hallmark cards, a live rose, delicious chocolates, Mylar helium balloons. The Love Bandit or other stuffed animals are ready for your selection at Toby's Hallmark Shop. Chocolates from $2.99, balloons $1.99, Love Bandit $8.95. When you carry enough to give the very best for your Valentine, visit Toby's Hallmark Shop, Berkeley Mall, Goldsboro.
We are back. I'm glad you called. Brooklyn, New York. This is Binyamin. Welcome to the program, Binyamin.
Yeah. Hi, Rush.
Hi.
Yesterday you spoke about separate girls' schools.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a big, so to say, chassid follower of yours, I'm for girls' schools, for separate boys and girls' schools. And I have to disagree with you on that.
Well, tell me why, very quickly, that you are for them. What's the benefit?
Well, the thing is that you always say about a lot of problems that comes out between boys and girls. It would prevent what they call premarital sex. It would prevent unwanted babies. You say how things were used to be that there were no boys and girls schools until maybe the 50s or so.
No.
Up until that time, there were even in the public schools.
Is that right? Boys and girls didn't go to school together until the 50s? Never heard of that. Never heard of that. Besides, when boys and girls were going to school in the 50s and in the 60s, there weren't the degrees of sexual promiscuity that we have today.
So, some of you don't think you'd like a low-fat diet, huh? Yeah, well, you have my total sympathy. I mean, after all, you'd have to eat things like pumpkin pie. Poor thing. And barbecued chicken. Such cruelty. And homemade turkey soup, huh? No, don't force yourself. Don't force yourself.
Taking the saturated fat and cholesterol out of your favorite foods doesn't have to take out the taste.
How about mocha cheesecake? The thought of it. And beef stroganoff.
Eat a low-fat diet. It's good food, and it's good for your heart. A message from the National Cholesterol Education Program.
One summer day in Jonesboro, Georgia, Joshua Krieger took out his bicycle. He rode out of his driveway, checked his new speedometer, and before riding a mile, he was killed by a drunk driver. Next time your friend insists on driving drunk, do whatever it takes to stop him. Because if he kills innocent people, how will you live with yourself? Friends don't let friends drive drunk. An appeal to intervene from the Ad Council, the Department of Transportation, and this station.
WGBR, Goldsboro's very own.
From ABC News, I'm Gary Nunn. President Clinton speaking in Shreveport. The workers at a GM pickup truck plant zapped big business today for criticizing his health care plan. He also took several pot shots at the insurance industry, saying it's created a costly paperwork bureaucracy, unfairly charging old people more for coverage, and has too much power to decide who has insurance and who does not.
We have involved hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of doctors and nurses and business people and even folks from the insurance industry in trying to put this plan together. Is it perfect? Of course not. Is it complicated? It has to be. This is 14% of our income.
The president's speech was beamed by satellite to GM facilities around the country. At a political fundraiser in Cincinnati today, former President Bush took aim at the plan.
We don't need more federal bureaucracy. We don't need President Clinton's plan.
Bush also says he disagrees with Mr. Clinton, who said in his State of the Union address that the U.S. is more respected than ever abroad. Canada's Prime Minister outlines a plan to cut tobacco taxes and increase police patrols along the U.S. border, admitting higher cigarette taxes have been counterproductive, saying high taxes have not stopped smoking, but have sent people across the border to the United States for cigarettes. Jean Chrétien says government revenues have actually declined because of the higher taxes. Among the steps taken,
an enforcement crackdown, a reduction of consumer taxes on tobacco, special action on tobacco manufacturers, and the most intensive anti-smoking campaign in Canadian history.
Contraband cigarettes account for as much as 75% of the market in Quebec and 40% in Ontario, the country's two most populous provinces. Soprano Kathleen Battle has been dumped from Metropolitan Opera production in New York City of The Daughter of the Regiment for what are called unprofessional actions during rehearsals. Battle counters, saying that the Met never told her that she was acting unprofessionally. You're listening to ABC News.
If you're looking for a new washer and dryer, now's the time to come to Sears Brand Central, because right now you'll find dozens of incredible values, like our large capacity 2-cycle Kenmore washer for just $245. The matching dryer is just $195. Both their lowest prices ever. You'll save $78 on the pair, although prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. The washer and dryer you're looking for are on sale through Saturday, only at Sears Brand Central. If you need extra strength medication to treat itchy skin, you're not alone.
So uncomfortable and irritating, you can't believe it.
Lloyd Reiser Jr. of Battle Creek, Michigan discovered new extra strength Gold Bond medicated powder.
It took the burning and itching away almost immediately.
Extra strength Gold Bond has extra strength triple action. We take our proven absorbing action, then add more pain reliever for medicating action, and extra zinc oxide for drying action.
I was just so happy to get out of pain.
New extra strength Gold Bond medicated powder. Use as directed.
4 people are dead, more than 4 dozen injured in a multi-vehicle pileup on Interstate 94 in west central Minnesota. A charter bus, a van, and a snowplow collided today in a blizzard east of the town of Alexandria. Several dozen homes in Malibu and Altadena, California have been damaged by mud and water over the past day or so after heavy rains turned hillsides, stripped months ago by fire, into mud. No injuries reported. The rain is expected to stop tonight. An 8-month-old girl riding in the backseat of a car with her 3-year-old brother has died of injuries suffered when a bowling ball fell from an overpass and bounced through the front window of the car, hitting her in the face. Happened in Jersey City, New Jersey, near an entrance to the Holland Tunnel. Ed DeFazio, assistant prosecutor in Hudson County, New Jersey, is optimistic, though, that authorities will be able to find out who did it.
We're hoping that a person who either lost this bowling ball or had the bowling ball stolen from their car or perhaps their home will come forward, and that will give us a great deal of help in the case.
DeFazio says the ball is engraved with the name Mike. Filmgoers are buying the most tickets for Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. The movie sold $12.1 million worth of tickets last week. Mrs. Doubtfire is a distant second, Philadelphia third. Wall Street Dow Jones Industrials are up 2.53 at 3908.85. Volume 189,980,000 shares. Trading is heavy. This is ABC News.
Do you know there are only 44 sounds in the English language? 44. And when you learn these 44 sounds called phonics, you can read and spell almost everything. That's why Hooked on Phonics is so successful. We've set these 44 sounds to music, making learning to read simple and fun. So get hooked on phonics and take the mystery out of learning to read. Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
For the ABC Information Network, I'm Gary Nunn.
State Office Equipment Company has discount office furniture for less. Stacking chairs are only $27.95 and only $29.95 with arms. Storage cabinets, 72 by 18 by 36, only $115. Folding metal chairs start at just $6.95 and folding tables start at only $36. And State Office Equipment Company has used furniture for sale and delivery available. Get office furniture for less at State Office Equipment Company, 2211A East Ash Street, Goldsboro. Open Monday through Thursday, 8:30 till 5:30 and 8:30 till 5 on Friday.
A strong push of warm, moist air from the southwest has us in such a mild pattern now that our expected lows tonight are warmer than our normal highs for this time of year. The forecast for this afternoon, breezy. We'll have a mix of clouds and sunshine. Look for a few showers possible, highs 60 to 70 degrees. Then tonight, variably cloudy skies, lows dropping to 55 to 60. And for Wednesday, partly to mostly cloudy and breezy, some widely scattered showers and possibly some thunderstorms late in the day. Highs tomorrow 74 to 78. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
Time now is 1:07.
Expressed by the host on this show, documented to be right, because they are the result of a relentless pursuit of the truth. Note, ladies and gentlemen, the views expressed by the host are never, ever challenged. Only the credibility of the host, only the character of the host is assaulted. Views stand.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America Held Hostage. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
Thank you, Johnny Donovan. Day 385 today of the raw deal for the poor and the middle class. Day 404 of the raw deal, the Clinton presidency, a hostage crisis. For the rich and the dead, there are 1,075 days left for everybody. We just got a phone call from our EIB affiliate in Shreveport, Louisiana, KEEL. They have a reporter following President Clinton around today. He is at a General Motors plant in Shreveport, making a pitch for his health care plan and a number of other things. They sent along something that he said that we thought you might like to hear.
I've been trying to think of a diplomatic way to ask for one of these pickups behind me. I owned, when I was a younger man and had a life, I owned an El Camino pickup in the 70s. It was a real sort of southern deal. I had AstroTurf in the back. You don't want to know why, but I did. And
Whoa! Ho, 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 ho! He had AstroTurf in the back of an El Camino. Did he say back when he had a life? Or was it back when he had a wife? Was it life? Let's hear this again, broadcast engineer Mamone. Let me know when the actuality has recycled back to the beginning point, so that with the simple push of a button, we may hear it again. Here it is.
I've been trying to think of a diplomatic way to ask for one of these pickups behind me.
Stop the tape. He's the president of the United States. He's begging for a truck. He's asking for a pickup truck. Okay.
I owned, when I was a younger man and had a life, I owned an El Camino pickup in the 70s. It was a real sort of southern deal. I had AstroTurf in the back. You don't want to know why, but I did.
I still don't know if he said wife or life. This is back. Is its life? I guess it is. Well, there you have it. That's a clip you probably will not see on television. You will not hear on the network news or read reported in your newspapers. Now, isn't that a great way to get turf toe, AstroTurf? Don't you get turf toe, and maybe you get some... I've heard a lot of athletes, you know, that sometimes you play on AstroTurf, you burn your knees. Yeah, you do. You get rug burns on AstroTurf, especially on your knees. It's time, ladies and gents, for a feminist update. Straight from the AstroTurf back of an El Camino, owned by the president one time.
We're fierce, we're feminists, and we're in your face. They buy you dinner, open your door. Other than that, what are they good for, men? We're feminists, and we're in your face. Talking about men. We're fierce, we're feminists. They all want a girl, just like the girl that married their old dad. They make me so mad, men. Talking about men.
Hold it, just a second. Not only is this a feminist update, but it is also, ladies and gentlemen, a victims update. So we'll combine the two themes in one update.
Hey, I'm a victim. I'm a victim, Lord. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Just can't shoot on men. We're fierce. We're feminists. We're men. I'm a victim, Lord. I'm a victim, Lord. Yeah, I'm a victim.
EIB Rush Limbaugh program.
We're fierce, we're feminists, and we're in your face. They buy you dinner, open your door. Other than that, what are they good for, men? We're feminists, and we're in your face. Talking about me. Hey, I'm a victim. I'm a victim, Lord. I'm a victim. I'm a victim.
Look at me. And we're going on the Oprah show. And then we're going to go to the Jerry Springer show. Then we're going to bop over to Montel. And then we'll go to...
I'm a victim.
Then we'll hit the Jenny Jones show.
I'm a
And then we'll go sit on a Menendez jury.
Talking about me.
Okay, I think we have established the point here, ladies and gentlemen. Our feminist/victim update today is about an Ecuadorian manicurist by the name of Lorena Slice'em and Dice'em Bobbitt. The news is that Lorena Bobbitt does not regard herself as a feminist heroine for slicing off her husband's penis. And she's struggling to come to terms with her action. This, according to her attorney in a statement yesterday. Quote, "She doesn't now, nor has she ever viewed herself as some feminist heroine," said attorney Lisa Kemmler. "She is quite horrified by the action that she took, and it will take her quite some time to really learn how to deal with it." Oh, spare me the heart. Here we go. We should feel sorry for her. We should continue to look at Lorena as the real victim. Let me tell you, Lorena, once you have been made a 1994 feminist poster child, once you win the 1994 Image Award, you can't give it back. Once it's yours, it's yours. Her attorney says that Bobbitt felt intimidated by the fame the case brought her, including fan letters. Most of the mail Lorena Bobbitt is getting is positive, encouraging. We'd do it ourselves if we could, say most of the women writing her letters. Lisa Kemmler, the attorney, said, quote, "I think it's going to be hard for Lorena. I think she really wants to get a lot of therapy. She would like to go back to school. She would like to have a normal life. I wish her all the best." Well, isn't this wonderful, ladies and gentlemen? The 1994 Feminist Image Award winner, poster child for the 1994 feminist movement, whose last memory we have is her being carted off in custody by a sheriff, put in a car, and headed to the nut house in custody, now says that she does not want any part of feminist identity. The feminists must be crushed, and other things, too.
We're fierce, we're feminists, and we're in your face. They buy you dinner, open your door. Other than that, what are they good for, man? We're feminists, and we're in your face. Talking about men.
We've got a quick break.
Fierce, we're feminists.
And we'll be back with more of your phone calls right after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
You know what I think, but listen to what subscribers to the Limbaugh Letter are saying about my newsletter.
It's intelligent, it's very well written, it's informative, and of course it's full of Rush's unique sense of humor.
I'd like to have a written record of his wisdom and his insight.
He is a dose of sanity. He articulates and writes everything that I feel about today's issues.
The Limbaugh Letter is an absolutely politically incorrect publication, and I'm a politically incorrect person.
Join these people and others who benefit from reading me each month. Order the Limbaugh Letter today, 1-800-457-4141. 1 year, 12 issues for the low charter rate of $29.95.
Actually, I don't think a person can put a price tag on the knowledge that is contained in each newsletter.
I agree. Order the Limbaugh Letter now, and you can still receive my 1994 Rush poster calendar free. That's 1-800-457-4141. Call now.
Imagine meeting 50 people and remembering all their names, having a photographic memory and recalling virtually everything you see, hear, or even think about. Kevin Trudeau, founder of the American Memory Institute, brings you the easy-to-learn Mega Memory. Increase your own memory 500% or more guaranteed. As seen on TV, over 1 million people now benefit from the Mega Memory Home Study Course. Call 1-800-862-MEGA today and receive a 50% discount. That's 1-800-862-MEGA, 1-800-862-MEGA.
WRAL's Birthday Bucks is back, and better than before.
How can that be?
Because it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Just watch The Bold and the Beautiful at 1, as the world turns at 2, and The Guiding Light at 3. 1 out of all 366 birthdays will be drawn each hour. And if you see yours...
There it is, March 22nd, yes!
Be the designated caller and win $500 or even $1,000. Birthday Bucks, as easy as 1, 2, 3, only on WRAL TV5.
Prison. The ultimate deterrent to crime. Or so you thought.
You ain't gonna do that much time. I think the prisoners are laughing at us. 4 months is a very short time to do for stealing a car.
Are dangerous criminals getting out early on parole?
They'll go serve a few months and then they'll be out scot-free. I don't think the parole system's working at all.
A 5 News focus goes inside the system to show you why parole is the easy out. Tonight on WRAL's 6 o'clock news.
Do you know there are only 44 sounds in the English language? 44. And when you learn these 44 sounds called phonics, you can read and spell almost everything. That's why Hooked on Phonics is so successful. We've set these 44 sounds to music, making learning to read simple and fun. So get hooked on phonics and take the mystery out of learning to read. Call 1-800-ABCDEFG.
I'll bet you can learn a foreign language in 30 days by investing just 30 minutes each day. Care to take me up on this bet? Then call Cybervision, a leader in personal development training programs, to find out about the Pimsleur language system, an all-audio cassette program which teaches you a foreign language without memorization. Call Cybervision and find out how to receive your portable stereo cassette player free. Call Cybervision now at 1-800-606-TALK. It's guaranteed for 30 days or your money back. That's 1-800-606-TALK.